This episode of Gripping Golf is brought to you by Sycamore Ridge and SeniorVu. All right, welcome to another exciting, awesome, amazing episode of Gripping Golf Podcast, which is a podcast of three dudes sitting around who are mediocre at golf at best.
Thanks for the compliment.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, based on today's performance.
Yeah.
But we just love golf. We love talking about golf, and that's what we do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. So
our thing.
we'll start off. I played some golf this week, right? And I played, what did I play? I played Wednesday morning. When did we play? I don't even know.
We played Sunday, then Wednesday morning, Friday afternoon, and today.
Oh, wow.
You guys
We
played a lot of golf.
A lot of golf. Well, we played a lot of golf, not good golf. We played a lot of golf.
Quantity sometimes beats quality.
It was a good learning experience for myself.
Yeah.
I feel like made leaps and bounds. I feel like I was really progressing really well with my golf game, and then all of a sudden I hit Bert, and now I feel like I'm getting back into that.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraged. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. It was a good week. Some good shots, not some great shots. So my best shots of the week were
Let's hear them.
I can't even remember, 12 today.
Yeah.
Hit a 5-iron into that pin, and I was about 8 feet over the bunker. Perfect little
Nice.
shot. Then 17 on Sycamore Ridge, hit a 6-iron up that hill and flew it pin high. So I had an uphill putt coming back. Made par on both. It's solid.
Hey,
solid pars.
Yeah. No blood.
No blood.
A par is a no blood.
Yeah. Worst shot? Do I have to say my worst shot?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Is everything with the driver. No.
10 of them.
Actually, the worst shot has been with my 3-wood. I'm struggling with 3-wood lately. Yeah,
Okay.
It's low and left, and I think I figured it out today. So I'm confident. Game is good. I feel great about my game. I'm ready to shoot some lower scores.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah. Toss it over to you two.
So I actually played a little more than Billy. I was off this week from work, my real job that pays my bills. And I played Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, took Thursday off, Friday, and then today.
You could have just said every day that ends in Y, I played golf, but you didn't. You took one day off?
I took.
You got to take 1 day off. Man,
Okay.
you got to take a little breather.
Maybe I shouldn't have, because that's when it started falling apart.
Yeah.
You took the day off?
I took the day off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for anybody watching on video, if you see us turning our heads, it's because the golf.
We do have the
tournament's
golf on.
Yeah,
Just
it's
to the left.
it's directly in front of me. You
Right.
two have to turn your heads.
Yes, we have to turn our heads.
We know the pecking order here.
Yes. Exactly. So actually, I played really well this week up until about today. My scores were like 75, 74, 79.
Understatement of the century.
So
Game is coming around.
Yeah, so I played really well. I got no complaints about this week. Best shot probably was Tuesday. We had a bet going, had to press 2 down with 2 to play.
Oh, yeah.
And then I missed the green on 17. I was on a hill green side, short-sided to the flag, and the hill is like 10, 12 feet higher than the green itself. I said to my playing partners, "You guys ready to see some magic?"
I think
Shoot a shot.
a similar thing's been posted to YouTube.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it happens
Social media.
over and over and over again.
Shoot a shot.
Yeah. So I say this, and then I flop one down high into the wind and land it 6 feet from the cup. Ended up winning the hole. And
With a par?
With a par. Yeah.
Winning the hole.
Some strong playing partners there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were 3 pars and a bogey, but I jarred my opponents a little bit. I think I rattled them with the shot.
Rattled their cage.
It'll do that.
Yeah.
There's no way he can get up and down from here.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, if you know Dave Miller, he's getting up and down.
He's getting up.
It's going to happen.
Not today.
He's a custom ground in that bag.
Yes.
Granny.
U grooves. As far as my worst shot, I had several of them, and they were all pretty much the same. I have recently come up with a small case of the shanks. And I think, I figured out what's causing them, I think. My one today nearly killed my playing partner. I think I missed his head by about 8 feet.
That's a good shank.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It's
If
a
you can
solid
hurt
shank.
somebody with a shank, It's up there.
Yeah,
it's top tier.
It surprised all of us, and me especially, and then the guy whose tower got buzzed.
Probably him a little bit.
I think he about had a heart attack. I think it would have been a second heart attack. So
Negative, Maverick. The pattern is full.
So
I'm going to go ahead and buzz the tower.
Right. Those were my worst shots, but we're working through those. But overall, it was a really great week of golf. I really can't complain, and I have to thank my wife for allowing me the time to go out there and do that this week. So
We should all thank her.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we really should. Yeah. She's awesome.
She's the best.
Like
yeah.
literally.
Yeah. All
John?
the podcast feedback she gives.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Where would we be without her?
He married up just a little.
He
just
did.
slightly.
Good job.
A slight bit.
Good job.
A lot.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of continue the slow bleed of golf, like the just sloppy. You're gonna love my worst shot today.
I can't wait.
But played Friday and today.
None of us played together, by the way. That's we were all in different groups.
Yeah. I like the drawing cards, figuring out who you're gonna play with.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. But so I will tell you my worst shot. I'm gonna start with that because it's great.
It's that good.
Yeah.
Oh, we anticipate the tens of listeners.
They're gonna love this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So short-sighted
they have
myself.
pulled over in their cars. If they are driving,
absolutely.
they have paused it.
Pull
They said,
over.
I've got to get to the side of the road so
Yeah.
that I can
Because
concentrate.
there's two parts of this. It's me hitting it and one person's reaction. So I'm short-sighted, right side of 7,
Okay.
and in thick Bermuda, terrible lie, and I've just got the face open on my sand wedge, and I'm just going to swing for the fences
Oh, yeah.
and just hit it so fat. And I'm watching the club head, the divot, and the ball. The divot, the mud just flies almost to the green.
Oh.
The ball manages to almost go straight up, and the
Okay.
club head manages to catch the ball again. And what was great was that one of my playing partners was in the bunker. Kind of couldn't really see what was going on. But at the time he looked up, my ball was about 20 feet in the air directly over my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes down and he goes, how did that happen? And I said, well, you've got to Google TC Chen.
TC Chen.
Yeah, you've got to Google it.
Yeah.
And at the time, one of the other guys in the playing group really knows the rules well, and he looked at me and he said, that's no longer a penalty strike.
That is right. It's not.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
it used
said,
to be. Yeah.
Thank goodness, because
Yeah.
the ball almost went right back in the divot.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
would have had a bogey instead of, a double there.
Double instead of a bogey.
Oh, okay.
Double
All right,
instead
yeah.
of a bogey.
I said that backwards. Sorry.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like a good shot to me. I don't know what you're complaining about.
When it was all over with, I was completely confused. I had no idea how anything had happened. There was way too much information, and the output did not match the input.
Interesting.
But,
yeah.
it
The
was-
level of effort into the shot was fantastic.
It was like 1 + 1 = blue, and I don't know how it did that. But my best shot, ironically enough, short-sighted
oh.
in a bunker. And
I thought you were going to say the very next shot was your
No.
Okay.
No, we moved on to the back nine.
Okay.
I'm like right at the 14th green. I'm in a bunker, deep bunker, short side of the pin. And I said, the only way I can stop this thing at the pin is to spin it.
Oh, yeah.
And open the face, swung as hard as I could, looked down at the wedge. It had a perfect little white streak right across the sweet spot. Looked up, and it was floating down. And according to the group, it bounced once and stopped like 2 feet from the pin.
Ooh.
I'm like,
Nice.
all right. And we're done. That's the one thing I'm going to remember this week.
Yeah.
Is that golf shot.
And you clipped it. Like, that's so
Perfect.
fulfilling when you
Yes.
clip a sand shot that well. And you do see, like, that little scuff of
It's a skid mark.
skid marks.
skid.
Yeah.
Like a good skid mark.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's like
Not
peanut
the
butter and
emergency
jelly.
gas. Yes.
it's the 80-20.
Yes, exactly.
90-10.
So I have to say, I got done with the round today, and I was like, I need a hot dog. Did you guys read that article that I sent about
Yes.
the 30
didn't do my homework.
Oh, well, it wasn't
45
homework.
minutes.
It was 35 seconds.
35 seconds,
But
is what it
45 minutes is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for every hot dog you eat in your life, you die 35 seconds earlier. So it threw, my buddy, but apparently there's peanut butter and jelly mentioned in the article. I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't read, apparently I didn't read the whole article. I thought I did, but my
Who
buddy,
reads the whole
yeah, my
article?
buddy replied back saying, the way that I read this is for every hot dog I eat, I counteract its death-defying characteristics by eating a peanut butter and jelly, and then it'll balance out. And I was like, oh, wow, that's great.
Antioxidants, good fat.
But adding on, then I'm doing well.
You're going to live forever.
200.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well,
but,
we'll see. With a golf game like yours, for sure.
well, I mean, I like to look at eating peanut butter and jelly as going vegan. So
That's a nice way of looking at it.
Interesting.
Right? Yeah.
Uh-huh. I like that.
Yeah, that's deep right there. So many ways.
Well, I got roundly mocked at my home when I said I was going vegan and eating a PB&J, but
Was it your 8-year-old that mocked you?
it was everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Just a household activity.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
dad.
Yep. I
Dad
got
is
piled
Homer.
on.
That is awesome. Yeah, my buddy also proposed a question that is pretty interesting to think. Like, what if you only had a few seconds to live and a hot dog fell from the heavens and you ate it?
Oh, go for it. At that point,
Right.
35 seconds.
But would you then, if you ate it and you had to subtract 35 seconds from your life, did you then die in the past and mess with the time paradox?
Probably.
Did you already die before you eat the hot dog?
Does a flux capacitor just show
We
up?
don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to test this theory. Next
All right.
video.
Okay, yeah.
Gotta find somebody that's
For
not
sure.
doing real well. Offer him a hot
Yeah.
dog.
Hey, how are you doing over there? You're not doing
Feeling
well.
okay?
Have a hot dog. Yeah.
All I can think of right now is the Saturday Night Live Harry Carey, the Will Ferrell thing.
Hey, Norm.
If you were a 4-foot hot dog and you were starving to death, would you eat yourself?
Would you eat yourself?
It's a simple question.
We were just talking about that today during the round. Harry Carey.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't the moon made of cheese? Another one. Hey, Norm. If the moon was made of cheese, would you eat it?
That's a pretty good impression.
I work on it.
Well done.
Yeah. But let's move into the next segment of the podcast.
move
Did
into
Dave buy something? We need music for that. We need
we
a
kinda
big
do.
Like a Price is Right type thing.
yeah, and like some ching ching, some dollar
Yeah,
sign.
The hole-in-one song from Price is Right.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
the theme
Yeah,
song.
I was thinking of a different song
Hole
that
in
I sent you earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Not going to say it.
No.
But yeah.
No. But if
not
it's
check
lost,
there.
we know where to find it.
That's where I keep my money.
Yeah. Exactly. Gross.
Make you think twice about betting with me.
Yeah, exactly. Or taking any bets from you.
Yeah. So I did buy something. In this case, it was a putter to add to my collection. Is the TaylorMade Hydroblast Bandon 3 mallet style putter in the shape of the Odyssey number 7. Took it out
like
for a
the
little bit of a
fangs.
spin. Yeah,
Is that the
exactly.
fangs?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
Took it out for a spin this week, and we shot some video, and
We
we're gonna
did.
do a review on it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't
Spoil
want
it
to
too
spoil
much.
anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, I did buy something, and
Dave
that's what it
bought
was.
something.
Yes.
John and I both live vicariously through
Absolutely.
you buying something. Yes.
Absolutely.
Is that so?
Yes.
Yes.
Man,
Yeah.
well, at some point you got to
What
expect disappointment.
We
I
hold
guess,
out hope that you'll continue to buy things we're interested in as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Well, what
I
do
think
you
he
do?
does
Pretty good.
do that.
You do
though.
pretty good. Yeah.
I think he does do that because he has mentioned. He goes, "I bought this, and if I don't like it, you get first choice." And then I don't buy it. So,
which is fine. It doesn't
Right.
bother me any, But
It's nice to have the option.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's what friends are for.
Right.
Yeah.
It saves me shipping that way.
It's a local market.
There's an ulterior motive behind
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Local pickup only.
You gotta have your
No
markets
PayPal
open.
fees and no shipping that way. So
Absolutely. Can't blame you
you're
there.
doing me a favor by buying it in more ways than
I
one.
see. Yeah. Listen to that, Kate. Oh, sorry. Gosh dang it. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
her name.
Beverly.
Yeah. Yeah. Karen.
Well, I mean, I ran into one of our old golf buddies from Sycamore in a golf store yesterday.
Oh, yes.
You
Tell
know
us.
the one that buys a lot of golf clubs?
Which one is that?
Oh, no.
Roger.
Oh.
Yeah, I went into
okay.
Edwin Watts to catch a peek of the I-59s,
Gotcha.
and I'm in there just poking around, realizing that there's no inventory anywhere.
There isn't.
Oh,
No
yeah.
golf store.
There
I
really
mean,
Yeah, I haven't been
I
in.
love going to golf stores. We got some good golf stores, but boy, they can't get anything.
They're empty.
Right.
There's no used selection.
Nothing.
There's no new
Yeah.
selection. It's all empty.
And I looked up, and there's our old golf buddy sitting there, and he's trading in a set of irons for some woods and a driver. And he,
As you would.
as
Yeah.
you would, yes, And he had told me just a few woes of buying 2 sets of Titleists. He was trading one in for woods, and he too goes through. I think maybe more clubs than you.
Oh yeah, he's on
by
a completely
far.
different
Yeah.
level than me.
He's on a volume game.
Yes.
It's a volume
Very
game.
much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to him. Dave and I were on the range one time, and he was talking about shafts that he was getting from Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
It's amazing.
I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
He's in it pretty deep.
Yeah.
But, we're kindred spirits.
Yes. So, like, comparatively speaking, did Dave buy something versus did Raj buy something? He's going to have volume for you.
He's going to win every time.
Yeah.
right.
He'll win every time.
I imagine his garage is just chock full. It's wallpaper.
I think it was at one point, and then he sold all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's gotten
he could buy more.
Hey, I got to clear room because I need new stuff.
Somebody's got to keep it going. Billy and I don't keep the golf market going very well. With
I hadn't replaced my driver in like 13 years until last year.
Yep.
And my irons were longer than that. And my wedges, I do replace my wedges more frequently.
I'm on my
every 2 years. Probably every 2 years. Yeah. And I think I'll do them next year. I want to see what are the SM8s are out now for the Vokies.
They did have a few of those. Those didn't look bad.
Yeah. I did, but the 9s I think are coming out 2022 March.
Sounds
maybe?
about right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I just want to see what they look like. I have the 7s right now. And I like mine. They're great.
If you love them, not necessarily.
That's what anything in golf. If you like it, doesn't matter what other people like. If you like it, you hit it. Like I don't think I would go play a custom ground wedge, but John Johnson will.
Well, you've not hit one.
Very true.
All right, I might have to bust this thing out.
You are gonna have to make it. Yeah, it's just like Dave bringing the machine out finally because I said it enough.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Old machine.
Well, we know what you bought. We're going to do the review.
Yes.
So we'll get the review out there. We did shoot the video for it. Now we just got to actually put words to the video. So I think we'll, maybe next week or two.
Yeah, we're trying to follow through on our promise from last week.
We're trying to do stuff.
We're taking steps in the right direction.
Yeah. But we all have lives outside of this.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Gosh.
Well, let's move into birdies and bogeys. We're really only going with one big thing here, but it's Bryson.
Bryson?
He's
on TV at the moment.
Yeah, DeChambeau competing in World Long Drive. Is it World Long Drive? Is that what it is? Okay, all right, yeah. Because there's a couple of them out there. There's
the big tour.
Okay.
Yeah,
the old Remax, I think, is World Long Drive.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yes, I do. The balloon.
Yep,
Yeah.
the balloon. Yep.
So
red,
this is pretty
blue,
crazy
white.
because, he's obviously one of the longer guys on tour.
Right.
But is he long drive long?
Boy, we talked about that a little bit today.
Let's talk about it now.
What's his driver right now? He's probably hitting, a 45 and a half, 46?
I think it's a 46.
So he's going to move up to, is he going to move up to a 48?
Yes, but he says he practices with the 48 to do his speed training. So it's not completely unfamiliar to him.
All right. I wasn't aware of that.
Interesting.
Because that was the thing I'm thinking. It's like, I know that we've tried a 47-inch driver before. That's a totally different animal.
Yeah.
And a 48 is even more so.
Yeah. And I had built us that long drive driver a long time ago. And it was
a bear. It was a bear. Tempo.
But does he typically play? I mean, have we ever seen his numbers on that 48-inch driver?
No, I have not seen anything about that, but he says that it shouldn't be a problem.
Good.
But I don't know what it says his driving distance is
321.
Yeah, 322 rounded up.
Yeah.
But the thing about the driving distance on PGA Tour, it's not always measured with drivers. So that's
Exactly.
It's hard to know if that's actually the case. I don't know if people are aware of that, but there's just 2 holes each tournament that they measure your driving distance on, and that's how they come up with that average.
1 into and 1 with the wind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His ball speed hits 190, 193.
He hit a 190 before I left the house this morning.
Yeah, and I saw a 191, 193, which is amazing.
That's getting it done.
Yeah.
The fact that I think the tour average is 173, 174.
Yeah. He puts a bruising on it. And, he says the reason why he's doing it is to grow the game of golf.
And I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm 100% behind that.
Do you think it does?
I think
him doing the long drive?
I think it does. I just don't want every golfer out there to think that that's like the main focus of golf. I think it's entertaining to go do that. And I think people are going to watch because they're going to know Bryson and they're going to love to see that happen. Mm-hmm. But just honestly, people are like, I'm going to go out to the course and hit 350-yard drives because look for a lot of golf balls. If I tried to do that, I'm looking for a lot of golf balls.
But I think this goes in, for me, this goes back to the RNA and the USGA doing to dialing back the clubs. Like, who wants to go out? Who is a first-time golfer that wants to go out and be like, oh, I can only hit it so far.
Yeah.
They want to hit it as freaking far as they possibly can. So
it is fun.
I do think it does help grow the game. But I do agree with you, John, on the aspect of it's going to, you're probably not going to play very well. So,
going for broke all the time.
Yeah.
But like, it's a different thing. Bryson goes for broke every driver on the course.
Yeah. He won a U.S. Open doing that.
Yeah. Which
when everyone said he wouldn't do it because his wedges weren't good enough.
Right.
Well,
on a course that demanded accuracy.
Yeah. Yeah. And he just knew that if he got the ball down there farther,
it's
okay.
And it's statistically proven that the closer you get from going off the tee to the green or to the pin, you have your chance of making birdie or better go up.
A caveat being if there's trees on both sides of the fairway.
You're right. Yeah. You still have to hit it.
It's still got to be in play.
Yeah. In play.
Links golf, money. But
yeah.
I think it's great for the game.
I think it is too. I think it's fantastic. I think he's great for the game. I know there's a lot of people that are, don't like what he does or what he's doing, but you can say that about anybody that tries to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what he's doing. He's explaining to me, he's taking the game and thinking about it differently, going against the current and pushing us to think outside of what the norms are. Yeah. And of course he's going to get backlash on that.
Yeah, he's the Elon Musk of golf.
Right. I think what he's doing is great. I think the way he carries himself while doing it is the not great part. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like him, because he tries to come across as the smartest guy in the room, and it rubs people the wrong way. But the stuff, like, think of all the stuff he's done that people are trying now. The 1-length irons, the humongous grips, longer drivers. I mean, that's kind of been a thing for a while, but, and just the way that he attacks the golf course, lots of people are gravitating towards that. And that's stuff that people weren't doing 5-6 years ago.
I mean, I think going back to your point about him being the smartest person in the room, I think there's something to be said is, I have no idea what he scored on his ACT or SAT or whatever the heck, or how he did in college and stuff like that. But if he's as smart as they say he is and knows all these things, I'm sure he's challenged by the aspect of when he is sitting in a room with somebody or a bunch of people, he probably does know a lot more than some people. And I'm sure that he's not meaning to, and I've never been in the room with him and been like, oh, let me hear this gentleman talk and stuff like that. But a lot of smart people are introverts. And,
absolutely.
And, they don't want to talk to other people. So I'm sure the way that society perceives him and the way that social media displays him, we're maybe not really seeing the real Bryson. So I'm not. I just think it's interesting.
A fair assessment.
I think it's probably hard when you're in the limelight or the spotlight to have to be yourself. Like I go back to what he said about Cobra when he said whatever the heck he said. Yeah. I still don't think that was that bad. I think he stated his mind, and I think it got blown out of proportion because if you go back, I didn't see it actually happen in real time. I went back and watched it. After watching it explode on social media, I'm like, oh, I got to go watch what he said. I thought he got livid or something like that. And he was calm, collected, and just said what he wanted to say.
Pretty timid and tactical is really what it was. It was just going, my equipment didn't work today.
Yes.
And
he just came out wrong.
And he probably could have, he probably could have said it differently. But I think that he was heavily scrutinized for just kind of saying, it's been a struggle for 4 years. Right. It hasn't been where I want it to be. And I'm not saying that Cobra I'm not, again, attacking Cobra, but they should want him to tell you that it's not going the right way.
And I'm sure he does.
Yes.
It's just probably not
in public.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cobra's a little bit like,
because they're bending over backwards for the guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I agree with that, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, it's like, we live in a society where reviews, ratings, and everything is out there in the public. Mm-hmm. Why can't he speak his mind via the media? Right. And I think that is, to me personally, and I'm not right or wrong on this, but I just think it got blown out of proportion.
It did get blown out of proportion.
And I think he is a incredibly amazing person that is trying to do something different, and he's young. I don't even know how old he is. What, 25, 26? I don't even know.
Younger than us.
Yeah. I mean, so he doesn't have as much experience as executives in a big company to know how to control their emotions.
It'll come around. Because I guarantee you, everybody around him went, all right, we got to get you kind of PR'd up here.
Yeah.
So when this stuff happens, this doesn't happen again.
Right.
And we can focus all this in a better way.
Yeah.
Because the media's always going to do that.
I think you
say something just a little off kilter, boom, it's all over Twitter. It's a disaster.
That happens?
Yeah. That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We got to change that.
Yeah.
We really do.
Exactly.
Settle down, Twitter.
Yeah.
People.
So the crazy thing is he hits it far on tour, right? He doesn't stand a chance against these long drive guys.
No.
Yeah.
Those guys are hitting at 450.
Yeah.
I was
in a grid.
watching
Yeah.
an old one with the Canadian guy that's like 5'9".
Yeah.
I forget his name.
The guy that does the Ric Flair.
Is it Zuback?
No, the little guy. He's like 5'9", 170 pounds. They all overswing. He way overswings. But he won it at 449 carry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Carry.
Yeah.
It rolled 6 yards.
Yeah.
And you watch
6 yards.
Yeah, you watch Berkshire. You ever watch him play his little practice rounds? He goes and plays all these great golf courses.
Kyle.
And he'll hit like a 2-iron, 305, 310.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well,
It's
that's
fun to watch those.
brutish.
Yeah, it's fun to watch those little practice rounds he does because
Flushes it.
he does, but it's also funny to watch where he's hitting from. Like he hits like these bombs of drives, and then he's not in the fairway.
Nope.
He's like off to the left of the green, and you're just like, well, I mean, that's one way to play it.
Yeah.
So he makes a lot of birdies, makes a lot of pars.
I'd say that Bryson will be far more accurate than most of the long drive guys, but he won't be able to hit it as far.
No, not nearly.
That's
as
my
far
prediction.
out.
But like, good on it. I mean, he's not going to be off by a lot.
Yeah. You think he would change?
I
you
would
ever
need
see
to-
him going only to that tour, getting out of it?
No.
No,
This
you
is,
never
this
know.
is
It's not
way
as lucrative.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not nearly as lucrative with the endorsements.
The only
and
way I
stuff.
could keep up with the long drive guys is a really good potato gun. That's about it. I'm going to need
with
that.
a lot of
I'm gonna
hairspray.
I'm going to need some serious weaponry.
Not the
Yeah.
one that we
Get close.
built.
No.
a much more
GD
better
ain't
one.
gonna
Like
get
a
it.
real
Yeah.
one.
Hey, you mentioned something, and it's not on our list of birdies and bogeys, but
Oh,
you
no.
mentioned something about the RNA and the USGA rolling
Yeah.
stuff back.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about Phil's
Phil?
recent comments?
Yeah, go Phil.
No.
They,
Go
they were,
Phil.
they're talking about restricting driver length to 46 inches. He's currently playing 47, and he just lit into said basically it's the dumbest thing he's ever heard. Like, why are you guys even doing this?
Yeah,
Like,
what's the point?
Yes. Same thing when Rory went off on the golf ball.
Yeah.
Controlling go Phil. If you're listening, Phil, go get
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Well, just to me, like going back to what Rory said originally about the RNA and the USGA, I think he said it sounds like just a lot of time, waste of time and money.
Yes. That's
And I agree with
exactly-
that. It's just like, what are we trying to do?
Exactly what it
Someone
is.
wants to play. I mean, I guess, maybe put some restrictions in place on certain things, but like, why does it matter?
They
It
want to roll
doesn't.
us back to hickory shafts and featheries.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and they're ruling for people. Raise your hand if you hit it over 300 yards every time. We don't.
no.
And why restrict it? That's
Yeah.
the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
The 1% of the 1% of the 1% can go out and clock at 330 every day.
Yeah.
We're going to put the rules on them?
Yeah.
Like, that's
it's
ridiculous.
Dumb. Yeah. Just let people go play golf.
Yeah.
If
Enjoy
you're a-
the game.
If you're a
you
weekend
know?
golfer and you're hitting at 320, you're spending a lot of time looking for golf balls. So
I don't know what you're talking about, John. Yeah. Our group didn't look for a single golf ball today.
Yeah.
Not one.
Restrict it. Maybe picks up pace of play, but it's going to make less people want to play the game.
It's
They
not
just-
going to make people
They
any
just don't want
faster.
these tournaments going to 30 under like these guys are doing.
Yeah, like
You know?
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Amazing.
you know, who cares? That's a more exciting golf tournament for
absolutely.
me as
You know
a
what?
viewer.
It just penalizes them. To me, it goes back to, for me, we know more about our human bodies than we've ever known. We're working on training specific muscles that work specific in the golf swing. We're penalizing golfers. What'd you say?
I said, not me.
Oh yeah, we're but like
Yes,
professionals,
yeah.
like they talk, like technology. Yes, is getting better. Yes, shafts are getting better. That's just the evolution of technology.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
we the exponential growth factor. Is it just happens. Like if you start training your body the way that you want to hit a golf ball better, further, straighter, whatever, you're going to do that. And so
15 years ago, you'd go hit a driver and you'd look at the ball flight.
yeah.
That was how you figured out if it was working well.
Oh yeah.
Now you go to a driver and you know that it's spinning 2,300.
yes, the amount of
You're like,
data.
the science and the information you can get now will give you way more yardage.
Yeah, let's not penalize us for being
Yeah.
smarter. That sounds like if you go to your work and you figure out how to make a process more efficient, and they put in your boss goes, whoa, no, we want to do that in 4 hours, not an hour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Calm down there.
That's too many widgets you're making.
Yeah, exactly. Too efficient. Ugh.
Yeah,
Gosh.
it's one of those things where it's like, let the game evolve. If they're going to shoot 30 under, they're going to shoot 30 under. Honestly, you let the rough grow 6 inches. That's going to take a little bit away.
There's other ways.
But
Right.
you know,
I mean, we were talking about Tiger before the episode. All they did in the Tiger era was go out and extend golf courses.
just pull
Who's the
back.
only person that could play those golf courses then? Tiger Woods.
They took
Right.
40 golfers out of contention by doing
Yes.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
40 tour players.
And you'd end up doing the exact same thing if you put in restrictions. Is the people who can hit it long today will still hit it long with the restrictions, and they'll be able to play the golf courses better.
Yeah, it's like anything else. You try to regulate it, and then they'll work their way around it by trying to figure out a better solution.
Yeah.
So just let it play out. Yeah. Don't waste the time to waste the effort.
Man.
Keep refining the rules. Like, don't have to pull the pin. You can
Right.
TC chin it, and you're not penalized.
And you're not penalized.
That's brilliant.
That is.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
TC Chin, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Just make the game easier and more accessible to
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it. So.
everybody. Simple as that.
Make it
Well, what are
appetizing.
what are we supposed to be talking about today?
Well, that was
That's
what
a
we're supposed to talk about. But
topic.
as far as the quote unquote, as Billy likes to call it, the meat and taters.
The meat and
meat and
taters.
taters. We're getting
meat and
there.
taters.
This might go longer than we want it.
Yeah,
So.
and that's okay. It's
Yeah.
probably that's a good thing. We
All right.
anticipated that. But first thing that I wanted to talk about was
What's that supposed to mean, Dave? Yeah.
we like to talk.
Kathy.
It's fine.
John and I are long-winded.
Are we talkers?
Yeah, it's all right. So just to let our tens of listeners get to know us a little
Yeah.
bit better, and I think
Yeah.
Billy, this is something you talked about way when you started the podcast. But, let's talk to people about our goals just as golfers. Like,
Okay.
tell us about short-term goals. Do you have any long-term goals? And what are you doing to try to achieve them, or have you achieved some of those goals already?
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, those are, we might
That's
have to. You might have to resurface those questions again.
Okay.
But those are good ones. Short-term goals for me this season. Wow, that's a tough one. I would like to shoot. No, it's not a tough one. What I want to shoot under par. I want to shoot under 72. So I've shot 73, 74, handful of times. So I want to get. I'd love to get in the 60s, but I'm not
You
gonna.
never shot under par? Or you just
No,
haven't
I have shot under
recently?
par.
Okay.
I just want to shoot under par this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I want to shoot. I would like to shoot. I mean, 69 would be awesome, but I would take a 71 or 70.
Would you say it would be nice?
Yeah, it would be. It would be nice.
It would be nice.
Nice. That's short term. Am I doing anything to get there? I think I am. Not necessarily going and practicing really hard on my swing. I'm still in the mental side of my game, of getting that to be better at my game. So
Is it connecting ability and like trust?
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's more. I'm listening and reading Zen Golf right now, and I think it's more just the way that I approach the game. I think I'm a good golfer. I have
think
no
you are
doubt.
too.
Yeah, I don't have no doubt in my mind that I can perform at a high level. I think I'm lacking the ability to really focus in.
Yeah.
I think I get distracted.
Boy, that's
I think,
key.
Oh man.
Let's hold on to that thought for a second.
Yeah.
For our next topic.
Yeah. But
so your
my point
short-term
is,
goal is you want to take it deep on the golf course.
yeah, I would like to shoot 71, 70 or 69 this year. And I think a big part of that to how am I getting to that goal is I think I'm becoming more comfortable in who I am as a golfer. Not being upset when I hit bad shots, not when you hit one bad shot being like the hole's over.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've made birdies where I was like, I cannot believe I just made a birdie. Like, that's crazy. So I think it's just staying in there. But that's a whole mental side of it. And I agree with you. That'll be huge on the mental game. Long term, wow, that's a tough one. I think years down the road, I would love to maintain a scratch handicap for a good solid season and be around that. I don't think I mean, it says, I want to get to a plus. I think a plus would be fun, but I think it also maybe takes some joy out of playing with some people.
I mean, I
So-
will say I've been there, and it is
Yeah.
taxing.
It's
Every
not
time you
fun.
play competitive anything.
Yeah. I mean, even in the Tuesday night league, it was, I loved it, but when you're a 2, you're
It's
every
hard
week.
being
You
the one
can't
that's giving all the pops.
Yeah, you cannot miss an opportunity.
You cannot.
Earning
I mean,
your keep.
there were a couple weeks where I shot 1 or 2 under and we lost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's not, but it's the way the game falls, you
Right.
know? I think it's just so long term, I don't know if I'm doing anything to that. I'm not really I think the short term goals are really aligning with the long term goals, but I think I'm going to have to dedicate some serious time to working on some fundamentals in my swing to make it better, to get to where I want to get. So having some flaws in my swing today and still being a 2.4 makes me very confident I can get to where I want to go if I fix a few things. In repeatability, Doug said it today and it cracked me up. He's like, golf is hard when you try to do something different on every swing. And so I think that's kind of where I'm at.
Epiphany.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like, man, I'm doing that myself. Of every swing is like, where's this going to go? So having those thoughts and still being like a 2, I feel like I'm a pretty good golfer.
Yeah. So that's proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, just got to keep plugging.
So if I'm going to summarize, then your short-term goal is to shoot a low number once this year, and your long-term is just consistency for as long as you can keep it.
I would say another goal in 10 months whenever we're going to Bandon, I want to play well at Bandon. Sure. I want to shoot like a 74 one of the rounds. I think
Fair
it's
enough.
doable. Yeah.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's not a bad idea. It's
not a bad idea to shoot 74 or
at Bandon.
Okay.
It'll be tough.
And I don't care which course.
Yeah.
I just want one round where it's like, okay, I played that.
And the only reason I say that is the conditions are so different.
Well, we're not going to know. Yeah. Well, and I think, not to the mental side of the game is something, but in the Zen golf, they talk about the fact that you need to look at your handicap and understand when you're playing a certain hole. Your par isn't necessarily par.
Yes.
It needs to be, if you are a 28 handicap, your par is essentially double.
Yeah.
Just
play to that.
be happy that you made a double. Okay, I made a double.
Yep.
Don't be upset. Oh, double. That's your
Right.
par. That's what you were supposed to make.
Right.
It's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah. So, I mean, when today, I didn't shoot particularly well, but, I woke up this morning and I was just like, okay, I'm a course 4 handicap, 76. Yeah. 76 sounds like a great number. If I'm around 76, I played well.
Yep.
And I didn't shoot around 76 today.
You were around it. Just not close.
Yeah, it was around.
Relatively around.
Slightly above it.
Relatively speaking.
So what about you, John?
Oh, short term. Short term for me is going to be, I need to go out and play one round of golf where I don't hold back on a shot. And that's trusting the swing. Played a lot less golf over the last 16 months. It has manifested shots of caution, and that just costs me so much. When you hear me say slow bleed, what I mean is that I've hit a shot that's now made my next shot more difficult.
Yeah, it's a death by paper cut.
Yes, it is. So what I have to do is go out and hit shots to targets and deliberately try to get the ball on that target, whatever it is, putt, chip, long iron, drive. So for me, it's about solid contact. There's 3 things. Solid contact, looking up, seeing the golf ball in like a window. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see. I want to look up and see like a golf ball, an 8-iron in this vicinity. And then alignment. I lost everything right today. Mm-hmm. So it was really hard to just trust hitting down, hitting a draw, because a couple times it went right. So I just had some things that I probably need to work on. Mm-hmm. But from a short-term perspective, I want to go out and just attack each shot. I want everything to go 5 yards past, 3 feet past with putts. I want to just get aggressive with the game.
You want to execute. You want to execute every shot well.
Yeah, I don't want to hit a shot and realize that when I make contact, for some reason I haven't given it enough to do what the shot needs to have happen.
It's like when you have an uphill lie or a downhill lie and you don't factor that in at all, and then you get done and you go, "Wow, well that's why I went over there."
Think about exactly it. Dedicate yourself to the shot, and then truly try to hit it.
Yeah, focus.
Sometimes I just find myself going, I'll just take a little bit more club and I'll just play over to this area. And I mean, and not to sound arrogant, but like I feel like I can attack the pins.
Yeah.
And it's foolish
it's
foolish to hit to a giant segment and not hit to a pin with an 8-iron.
Mm-hmm.
For me. And that's usually, like, when we were playing a lot of golf was easy because I could just do that every shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hit every wedge all the way to the hole, and it'd either stop or spin back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just trying to hit to like a general vicinity.
The
And
green.
That's not a good way to really get better if you want to shoot a lower number. So it's the confidence, the trust, and working on alignment, ensuring I'm hitting good contact. Those things just have to come together. I don't care how they do it. It's probably going to be through repetition. And long term, it would be to get to a scratch as well. I think that's my get back to it, because that was fun.
Yeah.
when golf was easy, was a blast.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have a few rounds like that.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's for me.
I think it's very interesting to hear the difference between your guys' short-term goals. Like Billy's focused on a number. And I've actually got stuff on these notes here that I'm reading off of if people see me looking down. I was going to ask, is your short-term goal, is it a number? And for Billy, yeah, it is a number. But for John, it's just finding that feel again.
Yeah, it's got to be 100%.
He's lost that love and feelings.
It's gone.
Maybe you need to close your eyes when you kiss.
Whoa.
Is that Patrick Swayze?
No.
Okay. It's Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, okay.
Yes.
It's Top Gun.
Yes, Top Gun. But yeah, so
baby, I get down on my knees for you.
Oh man, if that doesn't double our listener base, I don't know what will.
Yeah, we're up to 20s.
I think I'm with Goose. I hate it when you get that love.
No,
when she
hasn't. She hasn't lost that feeling. Yeah.
Nice. So for me, I think I talked about it before. My short-term goal coming into the season, I hadn't played a lot, and every time that I played, it was in the 80s. And at one point in my life, I was in the mid-2s for my index, and I just wanted to break 80 again. That was my initial short-term goal.
Done.
And then I did it. And then I changed my goal, because once you accomplish a goal, like you got to change it, right? So then it was to be consistently in the 70s, and I'm there now. So, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but like I've had to work hard to get there.
Yeah,
it's paying off. You have worked hard.
Thankfully, my son has taken up an interest in the game, which means I get to go out and play more.
Yeah,
so
100%.
it's mutually beneficial for me and my son.
Yeah.
And let's be clear to the listeners, I am not your son.
Right.
So
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
To
we
the
look,
best of our
we
knowledge.
look a lot alike.
To the best of
very
our
much
knowledge.
so.
Side
Yes.
by side.
Exactly.
Yes.
Same physique.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe if Mike Tyson punched my gut, everything would stretch upwards.
Same hairline.
Does physics work that way?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Science.
Uppercut.
So, but those are my short-term goals, and right now, I don't have a short-term goal to go for right now. And if I want to set one right now, it probably is to shoot par. I've never shot 72 or better on a golf course. I recently, just this past Tuesday, tied my lowest score ever with the 74. So I'm close, or at least I thought I was close until today, which is just a temporary setback, right? So just a bad day.
Yeah.
Probably my body is shutting down from too much activity in 1 week.
It happens.
But so my short-term goal is a number in this case, and I think as far as a long-term goal for me, I've got a couple. I think one of them, and it could be a dangerous road to go down, but we talked last week about looking at your swing on video. I did that, and I think I saw a couple things that would allow me to add a few yards of distance and maybe a little more consistency to my swing, just turning through the ball and things like that. So that I'm going to shelve that for a winter project because the swing's going well right now.
Yeah.
But the other long-term goal, other than like the KC Cup, I've never really played a competitive round of golf or tour championship or anything like that.
I am so excited.
So I think what I'd like to do is, if I feel like I'm ready, maybe sometime next year, jump into some of those amateur player tour events and things like that.
Do it.
Just to kind of see, how I hold up under the pressure.
I think Gripping Golf should do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so too. I think it would be fun to do that.
Yeah.
And we can get one of the the tour owners on here and kind of discuss that.
Jake wants to come on.
Yeah.
He's a amateur players tour, and he wants to come on. Yeah, he and I've been emailing and I think their season is over.
Yeah, I think
pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I think after that we'll be able to get him on.
Right.
We'll be able to recap. This is the first year it's been in Kansas City. Was this year?
And that's the one you played in.
That's the one I played in, and every person I've talked to has loved it, and he does a great job. He loves golf. So I mean, he's a
sounds like a stand-up guy.
Yeah, he owns his own, and I cannot remember the name of the company, but he basically does golf simulators.
Oh, okay.
That's what his company is that he does. So
Nice.
so he eats, breathes, and sleeps golf like we do.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So yeah. So he's a good guy.
So that's what I'm shooting for. Just kind of get out into a competition, see how that goes, and then see if I can finally hit that number that I haven't hit. And I started golf late, but all the years that I've been playing, it'd be pretty rad to finally do that. So those are the goals.
I don't think I think you're close.
Oh,
I
think so too. I think if I can get over the mental hurdle of my putting right now, I can handle it.
Yeah, putting sucks.
Yeah. I think that's between your head, though. I mean,
it absolutely is, and it doesn't.
I know
help.
that's why you said mental,
right?
But I'm just
it doesn't help. Probably doesn't help. Maybe it does help. I'm on my third putter this week. So
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Just trying to find that confidence in something that I know is going to go in.
Wait, you said you only bought one putter.
No,
I know. I'm just joking.
I've been rummaging through my collection.
Shall we revisit this?
We're going to go back to Dave buys something.
Brought out the old gamer, and it treated me well for 9 holes, and then poorly the next 9.
Wait, so what putter did you use today then?
Today was my Scotty Cameron.
Oh, you did
Monterey.
use the Scotty. Okay,
the
all right.
Monterey. The
Got it.
head style that you said you abhor.
I hate that.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's fine.
Everyone has their own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about it, and that's a question I want to ask in the next segment too. But one
let's
more as far as goals.
Oh, you're going 3.
All right.
Well, I went 3. John went 2.
Did I go 2? Which one?
I don't
know.
know.
Not me. I'm throwing another question out there.
Oh, gotcha. I'll stop typing
and
then.
This is kind of actually going to be a bridge into the next segment. But why do you feel it's important for you as a golfer to set yourself goals, both short term and long term?
You have to be striving towards something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you fall into a dangerous pattern of when you're not setting goals, specifically in golf, because you aren't taking it serious, is what I would say. And then you get upset at yourself because you're not shooting. I need to shoot better. Well, what are you trying to do? I go back to Ben Perry, a general manager, past general manager at Sycamore Ridge, saying to me, Billy, how often are you playing? Well, I'm playing once a week, and then why are you so upset? You're shooting 82 or 83. That's pretty darn good. Are you practicing? No, I'm not practicing. You should be happy with 82 or 83.
Realistic expectations.
Yes. And so I think if you're not striving towards something, and that's okay. Maybe you don't have any goals, and I just you know what? I love to go hang out on the golf course for 4 to 5 hours with my buddies and enjoy the outside. And I will say that's a part of my game that I'm trying to appreciate more, because what we get to do on Saturdays and Sundays is go play golf with some of our friends and stuff like that.
It's awesome.
There is not it is fantastic, and we need to cherish those moments a lot, because there's not a lot of people in the world that get to do that.
No, and it's 5 hours where you don't think about anything other than I kind of hit that crappy, but you don't think about any other problems in your life.
No.
It's the strangest thing. It's like some sort of weird drug where you just get to block out everything else going on in your life. So
it's a good drug.
It's a good drug. Expensive drug.
It's really expensive. Less expensive for you.
So I guess to answer your question, I think you definitely should, but be true to yourself. Maybe you don't want to, maybe you're okay with what your game is. And, maybe you, I don't know. I mean, for me, I would like to strive towards something, I think, but be realistic to John's point. Be realistic with yourself, because say you go and set a goal of, I want to hit 18 fairways, or I want to hit 18 greens or something like that, but your scores don't change. Look at it from a standpoint of, measure not everything, but be realistic of, don't be disappointed when your scores don't go down, but you're getting better at ball striking, So, I think you should have goals.
Goals are important. If you don't have them, you will shoot the same score every time you play golf.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Some people, like you said, do want to do that. But, bringing up goals is a really good topic, because that's something that I haven't had for 16 months. and I'm paying for it now in my golf game. I've just gone out and gone, we'll go play golf.
Yeah.
And not really thought about the things I used to think about to make me a better golfer. Like, I don't know if I call it a goal. I mean, call it a focus, but very similar in the fact that when I'd stand over a tee shot, I wouldn't even think about ball flight, contact, anything, and that
Used to or do now?
For the last year, I bet I haven't even thought about that.
Okay.
And that costs you when you do that. When you stop focusing on those things, the things that can improve your game, you pay a debt to that. So you got to have goals. You got to have something to focus on. Yeah. You got to have something to strive toward, because if you don't, it's just going to stay the same or get a little worse. And it can be a little taxing.
Sounds like you're speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, sometimes you can walk off the course going, that felt like work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
So get some goals, get them lined out, whatever it is,
and
work toward it.
I think in this day and age, with how much data is available to a golfer, using apps, apparatuses, Garmin, whatnot, whoever
whatever
you want to use them and figure out what you need to improve upon, and make small goals. You don't have to I think our goals being numbers are great, but at the same time, I look at that and go, a Bobby person who's a high handicapper. Yeah. I don't know if a goal of shooting a number is the best thing. Maybe it's to not lose a ball.
I was going to say lost ball 9 holes.
Lost
ball sounds great.
Not have a penalty stroke. And or not have any 3 putts in a round or something. Focus on little tangible things.
Yeah. It should absolutely reflect where you're at as a golfer.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
And if you're struggling to find a goal, try to take 2 putts off your round every time you play golf.
Yeah.
Like that's like probably the one that is the most boring.
Be down to 0 pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly.
I've missed every green, but I chipped in every hole.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jackpot.
I am the best golfer in the world.
Yeah,
goal accomplished.
Those putts, they add up.
They do.
Too quick.
Sure. So
too quick.
Well, great. So now people know what our goals are. Now we're going to be held responsible for that. Billy actually typed them out for us to hold us responsible.
Yeah. So that makes me anxious.
Yeah. So we'll have some content next year to see if we achieved anything.
Yeah. So. Not next week.
Not next week.
Yeah. Short term is open-ended.
Right.
Whoops.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's go into the next topic then, which links very well with goals. Mm-hmm. And that's just the mental game of golf itself. Golf is challenging enough, trying to twist your body in funny ways with a stick with a heavy weight on the end of it and trying to make a ball do something, right?
Yep. So trying to hit something the size of an egg 450 yards into the size of a cup.
Right.
That's a drinking glass.
Exactly. These are the Webster dictionary definitions of golf?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. It's completely preposterous when you think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 18 times. Robin Williams.
Yeah. And so, we've talked about the physical stuff, the swing paths and all that kind of stuff. But what is it about golf itself that just makes it so challenging mentally?
Look, the whole thing. That's what makes it. I mean,
I would say it's challenging if you, this is going to sound kind of crazy. If you think it's challenging, it is. So let's say, for instance, you hit a 3-wood off a tee. You want to hit it in the fairway, you hit it in the rough. Is that a fail? Probably not, right? You've not lost the ball. So maybe what makes it challenging is what we define challenging as.
Yeah.
I think
that's a great point.
I think that's a great point. To me, what I think making it challenging is being okay with not hitting every shot perfect.
Absolutely.
I think it is something to the degree of it's a game of misses. It is not, we don't get up there and hit the ball perfect every time. No one does.
I think it was Hogan or Snead said their best round of golf, they hit 4 perfect shots.
Yeah. And but define perfect.
Yeah.
Is it hitting the ball straight? Is it hitting it with a 3-yard draw? Because a perfect shot to me in golf, it would go in the hole.
Yeah.
I would tee the ball up, I'd hit it one time and it would go in the hole.
Yeah.
Perfect shot. But so I think it's internal. You have to figure out what is perfect to you. And what makes it so tasking to me is I'm going to go back to John's goal of focusing on a shot, every shot in a round. That's why it's so freaking hard. Because take an average golfer who shoots 100 times in the course of 4.5 hours. you are going to focus without thinking of anything else in your life, that's impossible. It's literally impossible. And then go ahead and put groups in front of you and groups behind you. Someone's chainsawing a tree down somewhere.
Maybe you've had a couple beers.
Some rumble strips on a highway near the golf course. So I'm just, it's very hard, I think, and people don't, going back to Zen golf a little bit, and then Buddhism and stuff like that, or meditation, whatever you want to say, it's all about self-awareness. It's about being aware. And I think people don't understand that they should take in the moment of any golf swing or anything in their life, they should take for a few seconds and understand how they're feeling in the moment. Because they can control their emotions more if they're like, why am I angry? Or why was that, I do this all the time. I hit a bad shot and I go, well, actually I know what I did wrong, so I should be able to correct it.
Yeah.
And so I think take away the positives. Don't focus on the negatives. If you've watched Ted Lasso, be a goldfish. They have a 10-second memory. Yeah. Hit a shot, move on to the next one. And too many people.
That's really good.
Bobby's we talked about this last time of he would find the negative in almost every shot. Oh, it's cart path only. I'm clear across the fairway. You striped a driver 270 down the middle. Well, I should have been over, whatever, So, but I do think the reason it's so challenging, it's a long period of time. It does cost money. You have to spend a lot of money to get into it. And when you don't play well, it's frustrating.
Yeah. It's an investment that doesn't feel like it's paying off.
Yes. Yeah. And so to me, it goes back to, it's a testament. It's a test of who you are as an individual, if you can control your emotions. And I'm not good at it, but I'm a work in progress. And I think that's all you can do is continue to strive at hitting better shots, being okay with misses, and recovering from those misses, because it only takes one good shot to make par or birdie on a hole. It doesn't, and typically it's not off the tee.
No.
But it does help to be in play off the tee.
Yeah. Another thing that makes it tough is, like, sometimes, and I know this is probably going to be a recurring theme, is for me it's pace of play.
Yeah.
If it's slow, I clock out. And that's really hard to get back in.
It's hard,
and that's on me. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's not anybody.
Anybody can play I know people who play 5-hour rounds every weekend, and they play great golf.
Yeah,
because they're prepared for that.
And I think you adjust it. So that's a good point, because you should adjust to the circumstances.
Exactly.
And if it's going to be a 5-hour round, you got to figure out how to get into that rhythm, or find your rhythm, or stare at the clouds for 10 seconds every shot or something like that. I mean,
a really good idea, and I've done it a couple times. I should do it more. But if it is a packed tee sheet, walk the flat 9. Put the cart away.
Oh, yeah.
I will play so much better on foot.
Yeah, I agree.
Than I do with a cart if the pace is slow. For me, that's what makes it challenging. For me is like, if I'm up there, I'm like, oh, they're not even on the green yet.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's the first thing
I think negative. About. You're taking that negative energy and you're putting into your swing. That's why, what does every person do when someone, the group pulled up behind us and they're going to watch us tee off? Yeah. Oh, gosh. I hate this. Yeah. Dang it. And then they hit a crappy shot. And then I knew I was going to do that. Well, you knew you were going to do it because you had a negative thought.
And talked yourself into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really try. One thing that I've really worked on is telling myself, I don't have like a mantra that I'm like saying to myself all the time, but
inner dialogue.
I just go, Billy, you're a great golfer. Hit the shot. You're hit the shot.
That's me whispering behind you.
Oh, that is? I'm not saying it? No, oh my gosh. John, you're such a great person. Yeah. Speaking of your shirt, Bushwood Country Club there.
Hopefully people know what it is.
Yeah. You're like gambling is illegal. Jackass. Yeah. Except he's like, good golfer.
Yes. You're the opposite.
Exactly.
The opposite of the guy in Happy Gilmore.
Exactly. If you swing it, it will go.
Yeah. So basically what you're telling me is the mental challenge in golf is because we're human.
100%.
Yeah.
We can't.
We are automate it.
We are.
Just bring Pingman out. Point it. Let him go.
Oh, how'd you play today? 18.
Yeah.
Oh, good shot.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. But who won? Who won today? We tied.
Yeah. But you bring up a good point. Positive thinking is so important. I always say I suck playing in the wind. It's probably because I talked myself into playing poorly.
Yeah.
You know, that's really a big
well,
part
level
of it.
set like that. What a 28 handicap. Gosh, why can't I talk today? This is crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah, too many banquets. By banquets,
Yellow
I mean
belly?
going to a bunch of banquets. Yeah,
Yes. Fundraisers and such.
conferences. But adjust to the conditions. And what I mean is, like, if you go out there and you're normally shooting a 76 on perfect conditions and you shoot 82, maybe that's really a 76.
Yeah.
And great, and a downpour, super duper wind, whatnot. So I think it's really, again, going back to take it easy on yourself, maybe a little bit of like when you hit a bad shot or you don't shoot exactly what you want, there's still some positive in that. Yeah. Go find it. Well,
that was something that I don't know if you recall this, but you actually helped me with that starting this spring because I would go out and hit a shot that I would think was just a gigantic turd.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, well, is it in play? Can you make a shot from there? I'm like, well,
yes, I can.
Yeah, I sure can. And so I would find myself very often hitting a shot and just grumbling about it and not being satisfied with it, even though it was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So what if you hit the green, but you're 30 feet away from the pin, right? You still hit a green. It's still in play, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, but you touched on something that I actually have on here. Do you actually talk to yourself during a round?
Yes. 100%.
Is it
Really?
mentally? Do you say it out loud? Like, what's your process through that?
Yes, I do.
Both. I'll talk to myself. I might, if I'm really struggling, I'll say, get it together or something like that. Come on, pull your head out of your ass or something like that. But when I hit shots, specifically putting, I'll inner dialogue to myself. It's downhill. It's left to right, about 2 feet out to the left. And I can see, I don't know why, but I can see the line a lot of times. Like, this is really weird to me, but like, I'll get down, read it, and it's almost like a white line appears in my
putting
vision.
string on the green.
Yeah, and I can like see. So I kind of look at that and say it back to myself. And then as I'm getting over the putter or over to hit a putt, I take 2 practice swings. And this is something I'm working on now. I take 2 practice swings, set the club behind the ball, forward press, go, and just trust it. Like, you already know the line, you already know your speed. Just execute your practice swing that you just did. Let the ball get in the way of the club. And so I talk to myself a ton, maybe too much.
Yeah. What about you, John?
So
I think I do.
I mean, you just go so fast. I don't know if you
Yeah,
do it.
exactly. There's no time.
I can tell you that I probably don't have that level of dialogue that Billy has.
It's constant.
But I usually have, I think one thought. And usually it's going to be contact. It's like hitting it solid. The rest of it, I always feel like, and you've probably heard me say this, if you've hit it solid, the rest can be fixed. You know? So I think that's the one thing I think about. Putting, I don't even know if I probably need to think more about my putting. But that's my one thing that I think about. It's just contact. Doesn't matter the shot. If it's off the green, it's about, I feel it. I see the trajectory. I don't talk to myself about it, but I see it. Yeah.
I do from time to time, personally. When things are going really well with the swing, I'm not. I'm just stepping up and hitting it. Where I talk to myself most, I think, is on the greens.
Really?
And and it's really, and I can go through some very specific examples. Like earlier this week, that Sunday round we played, I was rolling that one putter super well. Then it started falling apart on the back nine. And in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I just don't think I like this putter. And that was affecting how I would set up to the ball and putt it.
Oh, it's negativity.
Right, exactly. And then that kind of stuff continues. And I'll catch myself sometimes as I'm standing over a ball thinking like, man, I just can't get it together with this putter. And I have to stop myself while I'm standing. If you see me look like a computer resetting or rebooting standing over a putt, it's
Johnny Five.
Right.
Johnny Five.
It's because in my head, I
Johnny Five alive.
I catch myself saying things like, man, this putter is just not getting it done for me. And I have to tell myself, back of the cup. That's what Dr. Bob says in his putting book.
Yeah.
You tell yourself, back of the cup.
Yeah.
Like once you've read the line, once you figured out what you think the pace is and you've gone through your routine, the last thing you tell yourself is back of the cup.
Commit to it.
And there's times where with the full swing, if I'm struggling a little bit, my new thing lately is just send it. Tell myself send it.
Yeah.
You know, but I do talk to myself some on the course, and it used to be real negative. Sometimes it's still pretty negative. But it's got
yardstick just smacking yourself across the face.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better, and I've actually heard from several people that I haven't golfed with in a while, and they're like, "You are not the same person you were 4 or 5 years ago."
It has, the tension is just melted away.
Yeah,
and it's really fun to watch now.
Yeah. So, but you know, one of the guys we golfed with today, on the very first tee, he comes in and says, "Guys, I just want to warn you. I'm having issues pulling the trigger. I'm like Kevin Na. I'm going to stand here, and if I look like I'm stuck, it's because I'm afraid to start my swing."
That was today?
That was today. And, yeah. So he was struggling with it a little bit, and you could see it from time to time. And
Interesting.
I asked him, I said, "What are you telling yourself before your swing?" And this was on the 5th hole. He says, "I'm telling myself, pull the trigger."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well,
Don't.
tell yourself send it instead."
Yeah.
You know, just change it up a little bit. And then he piped his drive, and he's like, I think that might work. And
he found the right person at the right time.
Yeah. And so it's weird, you know, how you can flip that negativity into a little even slightly more positive.
Yeah.
And how it changes your performance. I don't pretend to understand psychology. I took one class in college, and it was pretty rudimentary. I can't say I learned anything from it. I think that might have been one of the rare classes I got an A in.
Oh, well,
in
then
college.
yeah. Dr. Dave.
Well, no.
Yeah.
But
Dave?
it's so crazy, you know, how
Dr.
that
Miller?
works. Yeah. But no. But along the lines of talking to yourself, though, do you guys have specific swing thoughts? Like, do you take yourself like through your technical swing stuff before you swing? I know John doesn't, because he just steps up and hits it, but like Billy, for instance.
For sure, I do. I'm trying to get away from it a little bit, but you know, going back to do I talk to myself? I was thinking of another thing that I do. I try to feel and say the yardage. Mm-hmm. So if specifically wedges, maybe not when I'm 150 yards out, but 80 yards or something like that, I try to think, okay, 80 yards. And I'll say it a couple times, and I'll say it during my practice swing to tempo myself a little bit. And I feel pretty good there. I will say I have a checklist of full swings and that's just because I'm mechanical. I think mechanical, but knowing that could be hurting my swing because it's not allowing it to be free. Thinking mechanical, thinking all this has to be here, that's not fluid. Mm-hmm. And so, funny enough that you said send it, that was going to be my next thought, is to just be like, okay, 2 practice swings to the side, step up, let it go. Mm-hmm. Just let it go. The swing's there. Right. And that's really what I keep telling myself is the swing is there. Just execute it. Pull the trigger. Boom. Do it. Maybe pull the trigger is not the right word, but just send it, you know, and maybe thinking about visualizing the shot a little bit more would be something that I would say of how I want it into. I don't really picture the window like you say, John.
I picture the trajectory, the window, and the ball flight. Like I see a draw, I see a fade.
I'll say to myself, I want to hit a draw here, I want to hit a fade here, and I hit a draw, I want to try to hit a fade. But I do want to. I'm getting more comfortable with just like letting it go. Just boom, let it go. Stop being so mechanical. I don't feel like I am steering the ball. I don't feel like I'm swinging like I'm steering the ball. Clearly I am if I'm doing that. But I feel like I just need to let it go. Yeah. Just let it go. Let the just not swing hard, but just be swing.
We're closer than we think on what we want to do.
Yeah.
Really my short-term goal is to do that. And then trust it.
Yeah. It's just go, this is what I want to do. Think about it. Yep. Of taking all the variables, not overwhelm yourself, but okay, it's downhill, it's into the wind, the green is right to left. Okay, I can land it right at the pin and have an uphill putt, or I can land it right at the pin and it'll go in the hole because it always does. But yeah, I agree. It's just I get frustrated with myself. When I get really frustrated with myself is when I miss a detail of like, oh my gosh, come on, you should know that.
Well, like
wind
not or something like that.
Yeah, like not okay. like the night when we played Friday and I blasted that 9-iron over the green on 8. Like that's frustrating. It's a great shot. Yeah. Like I'm not mad. I'm like, gosh, dang, I hit that perfect. You know, so good. I chose the wrong club.
Yeah.
You know, just not thinking through that of not trusting it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So trust is a big deal then. For me, and again, this is all part of the process that I've gone through achieving the goals that I have. In the spring, Billy came up to me on the range and he said, did you realize when you take your club away, it's way outside? I'm like, no, I had no idea. I thought I was going straight back. And so that was something I started working on, and that, you know, it's just like John said a couple weeks ago. You change the backsplash in your kitchen, then you want a new countertop, and then
you got a dozer out knocking the foundation down.
No, I thought you really did this. I was like, oh, wow.
Until I saw
oh, my gosh, good for you. So homey.
Right. So you start one thing, and it leads to a bunch of other things. And for me, what was happening was I would focus on the swing path back, and then I would forget to turn my hips, or I would come out of my swing, and I went through a period of a couple weeks where I was topping 3 or 4 balls around, you know, and so I got to a point in my head with swing thoughts. I'm like, okay, take your hands straight back, turn your hips through, stay down in your swing. And I was just paralyzing myself and not even realizing I was paralyzing myself, just with all these different things to think about. And then where I really kind of freed myself up is when I could just boil it down to one swing thought. And for me, it's been straight back. Just once I think that, then I'm send it mode.
It's all going to falter.
Right. Exactly. And so it's crazy how you can just pile all that stuff on yourself. You think you're being technical about it, but in fact, you're just like adding weight to your wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Paralysis.
Yeah.
By analysis.
And
totally.
so, and having actually realizing what I was doing has really kind of helped me understand, well, you know, hey, you're killing yourself by doing this to yourself. So
it's an easy trap to get locked into.
Yeah. And so you guys talked about trusting your shot. I want to ask, how does your equipment play into that? Like we talked about putters, a different putter for everybody. You know, if you have, let's say for instance, you're struggling with a hybrid, or you're struggling with your 3-wood. For me right now, it's currently a putter. Is the equipment itself, do you have trust in that, or are you just placing it on the arrow instead of the archer? Like, what is your thought on how the equipment plays in the role of trust in your shot and in your golf game?
100% the equipment's fault.
Always.
Yeah. I wish I could believe in that. But
yeah,
unfortunately,
exactly.
Every wrench I've got in my bag has treated me well at some point in time.
Right.
So I can't necessarily, my game hasn't changed, so the equipment doesn't need to change. So I look at it as like the onus is on. Like I look at my clubs looking at me going, dude, come on.
Yeah. Hit us straight.
We've been in the rain. We sit in your trunk all week. You're going to come out here and do this to us? That's what I picture. So it's all on me. 100% on me.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that there's a feel like, I don't think there's anything wrong with if you're having a mental struggle to maybe take the club out.
Grab something else.
Yeah, put something else in. I think that almost really could benefit you. It could have a negative effect too. Like swinging those couple putters that you had the other day, like I was like, dang, I really like this grip. Well, then today I'm like, this grip sucks. Like I'm putting with mine and I'm like, I mean, but I think you should try. No, it's not the club's fault. There's clearly something. Now, that to be said, you probably, if you were really struggling with something, probably maybe get some data to support that.
Absolutely.
If for example, my driver, before I switch shafts, Dave's like, if you're swinging 118 miles an hour, you should be way down the fairway further than me. Oh, really? Okay. And so then we changed it out, and sure enough, started getting a more penetrating ball flight. So I think, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't blame the clubs for anything, but I do think that you can change some stuff out and get some feel back to you. And I'm doing that with my 3-wood right now. Like I'm like, man, what is going on here? And I love that 3-wood.
Yeah. And I take my stance from the fact that I feel like everything in my golf bag is ironed out. I don't really. it's all worked really well before. So it's something that I just gotta get it figured out, and it'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. To your point, sometimes you just got to kick stuff out. You're like, all right, I've hit this 3-wood like crap for 3 weeks. I'm bringing the other 3-wood back.
Yeah, I started hitting driver. Like normally I'd hit 3-wood on 5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
And I instead pulled driver out and hit it much better.
Yeah.
And it's just because the trust was there with the driver.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So, all right. So you're not trusting your 3-wood, and it kind of leads into this question. You pulled your 3-wood out on the tee, you specifically, and you just hit a horrible shot.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my case, I just left my 17th putt in a row 2 feet short. Or in John's case, he did not hit his 6-iron through his window for the 5th time in a row.
Yeah. Oh,
How do you recover mentally
it's too small of a window
from that horrible shot or putt that you just threw out there?
Oh, you just got to keep moving. Like you can't. You're gonna hit bad shots regardless. It's not the club's fault. You just keep going. You know, again, factor in all the variables that you're going in. So you're leaving a putt 2 feet short every time. What's going to happen next is you're going to have a downhill putt and you're going to throw it 6 feet past, and they're going to be pissed at that. So you have to. Okay, the greens are running slower than I'm used to. I got to start hitting them a little firmer. But at the same time, doesn't mean don't look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the variables for every shot. So I try. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I try not to get like upset because I on 5 today I hit one low left into the trees. That sucked. You know, and I didn't hit the 3-wood after that again.
You're going in timeout.
Yeah, and so but I also mentally go into the next time I play, I'm going to hit the same shot. Like I'm going to pull the same club because it's the right club to hit. I don't need to be hitting driver on 5. 5 it's an easy hole up the hill. You know, hitting 3-wood for me puts me to 150, 140, and I don't need that driver.
Why bring trouble into play?
It does not gain me enough. You know, I will birdie the hole just as many times from 140 yards that I will from 105 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and for me, I look at it as it's left me and it will come back.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm doomed. I'm never going to hit that window again. I look at it because I've played golf for 33 years. Good Lord. That's a long time. But I just see it as like something where I'm like, it ain't working now. I'm just going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then if in a 2-month window it's never worked, then there's something that's wrong.
Right.
But I've played so much golf that I know that it will come back. I've never been to a place where it hasn't come back. So I just kind of go, ugh, I'm in that like low end of the wavelength.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to come back. So I'm just going to be patient, keep trying to hit good shots, trying to hit things solid. Like that's my thing is I just kind of go back to the solid strike.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I 100% agree with that. But the other thing is I think that it will come back.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the game for you is it just keep moving forward.
Golf, I mean, ask Bill Haas.
Yeah.
Golf can be great and golf can be the
horrible,
most frustrating thing you've ever had to experience in your life.
Yeah.
So it will come back. Bill Haas will win a tour championship again, hopefully.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say for me, you know, with the putts, the simple solution is get a different putter.
I knew you were going to say that. Which I think that's why
change it up. Right.
I think it's great.
Sure.
There's nothing and that's why I say there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
But not everyone can go out there and do that.
Sure.
So if you have the means to do that, I'm not saying that you're like, I just spend money, but I think you know, and you might find the weirdest thing brings you success.
Right.
You know, and that's
you just never know.
It causes the reset.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Sometimes you just need like a physical reset, and that's what a new club can do.
It's hard.
All you need to do with the putting, and it hasn't happened for me yet, is just see one go in.
Yeah.
And then
that
it's an avalanche.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll tell you just from my experience this week, Monday morning I go out, and on the 9th hole, I'm like 115 yards out, and I'm just going to punch a pitching wedge into the green. We were playing the back 9 first, and I shanked it into the lake.
Oh.
And I'm not going to lie, I was completely rattled. I'm like, okay, here we go. Well, now you got to hit the shot again. So you got to drop it right here and try again.
Punch a 3-iron.
You know, you're standing there and your hands are shaking and you really don't know what you're going to do. And,
you didn't pull your driver out like a...
I probably should have tried to bunt my driving iron and just roll it all the way up there. But
long putt.
And so the natural reaction there was I way overreacted and pulled it all the way to the left.
Yeah.
But then, no kidding, for the rest of the round, I had to hit my pitching wedge about 6 more times. Yeah. And the third and fourth time, I was still a little bit shaky. And eventually, I got to say, you know what, dude, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just swing the club.
Yeah, shake that off.
Right. And so it took me a little while, and then it happened again later in the week. Billy watched me hit a magnificent shank with the 7-iron into the woods. And then I had to keep hitting 7-iron. So it's just like you said, John, you just got to keep moving forward
going.
And eventually it'll come back. You can go home and analyze it at that point and try to figure out what happened. And that's where you would try to fix it. For me.
Yeah. When it becomes, when you've hit the 2 or 3 month mark and you're playing every weekend and it's still not working, consult a pro, consult something, but most of the time it's going to come back to you.
Yeah. And that's actually a good lead into my final question on this. And that is, you're struggling mentally with your golf game. You're just not confident with anything. Where do you go or who do you turn to for help in that situation?
I'm not good at this, but I think you ask your peers. For me, I'm not saying don't go to a professional, but I think, sometimes alignment, it can be a quick fix. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, I might go, I'm not looking for my peers, the guys we golf with on Saturdays and Sundays, to help me. I'm more or less saying, hey, look at this real quick. What do you see? Another opinion, but because the best answer here, go see your PGA professional. Yeah, there's no reason not to. They know the swings, the biomechanics.
If your elbow hurts, you go see a doctor.
Exactly.
If your golf game ain't working, go see the pro.
I'm gonna, but to be 100% honest, I'm gonna probably go to Dave or John at first and
go to Dave.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't think I'm asking mechanical aspects of my swing. It's more things like, am I aimed there? Validate that I feel this way, or validate you're seeing what I feel like I'm doing. And then if it doesn't solve itself from there, going to a PGA professional is the best thing. Yeah. By far. Go to them. That's what they're there for. They work really hard and they deserve you coming to them.
Oh, absolutely. So, and it does. I mean, I'm like you, Billy. I'm not the best at doing that.
Yeah.
Partially because I'm a little afraid I'm going to have to rebuild my entire house.
100%. Yeah, but, exactly. Yeah.
I will
get
tell
the bulldozer out. Yeah.
I will tell you that for me, it's pretty simple. When it's not working, I will go work on it and work on it. Yeah. But I do it through feel. I don't do it through videotape my swing. Like, I just wait until the ball's doing what it needs to do. I'm like, all right, it's captured. Repeat it.
And I think you have to, if you're going to do what you said, for me at least, you got to let go of everything. Mm-hmm. You got to come to that with an empty cup. Yeah. You know nothing. You're not going to muddy that water with your thoughts and opinions. You're literally going to work through that problem. Yeah. What's going on?
And I'll tell you that what I'm performing is self-surgery. Yeah. And that is, you will nick your spleen. It hurts. You will nick your spleen. You will nick your kidney, and it does take a little bit more time. Yeah. Where if I went to a pro, probably be a little faster, but that's all I've ever done. Yeah. Is self-surgery.
There's nothing wrong with self-surgery. Yeah. It's just that there's people out there that do this for a living, and I want them to get that money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
it's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yes, I heard that this morning. As a matter of fact, on the way to the course.
Interesting. And then all of them went to Bobby.
Yes, man, didn't they though?
It cleaned house.
Yeah, I think you're both right. There's different ways to approach it. Like for me, just like you guys, I'm not very good at asking for help. Yeah. Every now and again, I will, in the middle of my setup, be like, Billy, what am I aimed at? Yeah. Or John, what am I aimed at?
Yeah.
And that's me being direct and I need help. Like I've come to realize when I need help, I'm very indirect about it and I kind of beat around the bush. Or I'm just kind of like, gosh, I really don't know what the hell is happening right now. Like, why is that ball going right? Yeah. Or, and I just kind of wonder out loud, maybe hoping somebody might say something, but not being direct about
Right,
it. And say,
right, yeah.
give me a response or I'm going to kick something.
What just happened?
Right.
Well, I don't know.
But I think to your point, Billy, as far as going to a PGA professional, I think the thing people need to understand is you have to be willing to be vulnerable in that situation.
That's why I say the glass has to be empty.
Yeah, you have to be willing
go in
to.
there.
You've got to accept what they tell you. If they tell you, you know what, your swing is trash, you know, you can't go out there and be offended. You know, if you've been working on something.
Hopefully don't quite put it that way, but they might say.
A good PGA professional will not do that. Your buddy will.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, your game, you suck.
Tennis racket right here.
Yeah, what am I doing wrong? You're playing golf.
Yeah. First off, you got up this morning and you thought you could golf. Yeah.
You swung a club.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately the thing we need to take away from all this conversation is willing to be vulnerable and trying to change your disposition from being a perfectionist, which is not the right thing to be if you're a golfer, to being accepting of your failures, just like you said, and trying to find the positives in all the situations.
Be positive. Yeah. Take that positive energy and just spread it all over the place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty...
Coat the walls.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. We talked a long time.
We did.
Yeah.
Longer than what you said we should talk for.
Yeah. But you know what? I had a feeling this is a topic where honestly we could probably talk for a whole nother hour if we wanted to about it.
Are you hooked on the feeling?
Yeah, always.
Man, we are just a lot of songs today.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna sing that one too?
I know.
We got a sudden death playoff.
Yeah, there's a second hole.
Second hole. So. Yeah.
I've been so engrossed in the conversation.
You have, because I've been watching a lot of it.
Yeah, and I was typing messages. Hey, yeah.
I'm sitting here going, "There's golf on, Billy. Come on."
Yeah, I know. I left it up there. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
I finally caught Billy looking at me and going.
Yeah.
So, anyhow,
it's a good conversation though.
This is great.
Great topics.
Yeah. So we'll do another one.
It went a little deep. I like that.
I feel vulnerable.
Yes.
I felt vulnerable.
I'm going to need a hug after this.
Me too. Let's group hug it.
I'm going to have to hug it out.
All right. Thanks, listeners.